Intro played twice. That took me off guard. Anyways, hey guys, it's Tim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As we're here on Monday and we're talking Monday Night Raw. I think maybe I pressed the button twice and it played the, I don't know. Anyways, we're here. It's Monday. We had Raw. I will say it wasn't I wouldn't call it a bad Raw, but I felt like it was just a average episode of Raw. Good things on this show. Like there are a lot of good things, but there are a lot of average things on this show as well that kind of didn't, they took it down a little bit. Now, I know the big story coming out of this is going to be that Nia Jax did return to the company. We had heard rumors and reports over the last month or so that both sides were interested in it. And then she returns tonight attacking Raquel Rodriguez, attacking Rhea Ripley, basically saying she wants to go after the women's championship. One thing I'm going to say about this Nia Jax return, and I'm not saying, oh, I'm so happy Nia Jax is back, but I'm happy the way she returned because it was kept a secret. Nowadays, everybody figures out everything and everybody gets something scooped and fed to them. And so for us to not know Nia was going to show up at the end of the show and that not to get leaked and that not to get spoiled and ruined, kudos WWE, because like Piper Niven missed last week's show because she was sick. Going into tonight's show, everyone knew she was there. So yeah, with that, I gotta say, not like I'm happy that Nia's back. I'm just happy that they were able to have a secret on this show that no one figured out. So overall, we'll see where it goes. More Nia Jax. I don't expect anything different than we got back in the day with her. Former tag team champion, former Raw Women's champion. And off the jump, she's going right after Rhea Ripley, the women's world champion. So Rhea and Nia, Fastlane maybe? In Indianapolis? Luke, what do you think of Nia Jax's return and tonight's Monday Night Raw overall?
As far as Monday Night Raw does go, I mean, it was very average to me. Like, it wasn't great, but not, like, horrible. Towards the end, like, it was a very, like, newsworthy show with, like, Nia Jax's return. And I will say, I like that it was kept a secret. Mm-hmm. Because all these returns that we've been getting for, like, the past year, a lot of them has been like spoiled, you know, like for example, like Dexter Loomis's return, that was leaked. Hit Row's return, that was leaked. But the only like two returns I can think of that wasn't leaked before that was Johnny Gargano and Dakota Kai. Those were like the only two that I can think of that weren't like leaked to the public.
Uh-oh, the intro played again. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, so even like the Cody return, everybody knew that was coming. Everybody knew Cody was coming back. So it's like, I don't know. Again, I like that it was kept a secret. But now the question is, what do they do with Nia? We're just getting more of Nia. I'm already waiting for all those my whole jokes to start popping up on Twitter overnight. So we'll see where that all leads to. But I want to say thank you guys for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to head over to YouTube, hit that join button, and become a channel member. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're trying to get a new game like the Crew Motorfest or Mortal Kombat 1, getting an old game like Sifu or Alan Wake. Maybe you want to play Alan Wake Remastered before Alan Wake 2 comes out next month. Maybe you're claiming the free game, Spell Drifter. Haven't played that one, but I've heard good things. Or you're getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys. Use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Again, use code PWUNLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases, whether that's on your PC, your mobile device, your PlayStation, your Xbox, or your Nintendo Switch. But with that, as far as Monday Night Raw does go, the show kicks off with main event Jey Uso. Jey Uso comes out and gets a huge reaction. Great pop for Jey Uso for sure. Jey said that it felt good to be out of the bloodline and on his own here on Monday Night Raw when he was then interrupted by OKO Kevin Owens. Owens said that Jey must have meant to say that he was on the Kevin Owens show. Owens then said that he's been in Jey's situation before and knew what he was going through. Owens did a lot of bad things to a lot of people back in the day. When he tried to make a change, it took a long time to earn the trust of others. In fact, many in the locker room still don't respect or trust him. Owens then said that he knows that Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle were two of the people who didn't want Jey there. And I was like, oh, we're getting a Matt Riddle reference after this weekend. Okay, I didn't think they would say his name at all, but they did. People who never spoke to Owens approached him recently to tell him that they didn't want Jey there. Owens noted that Cody Rhodes seems fine with it. Duh. Cody's the one that made the trade. And Sami Zayn welcomes him with open arms. But that was it. Jey still has a long way to go to earn Owens' respect and trust. And he needs to prove that. Prove he's not a scumbag like he was in the bloodline. So, I want to get your thoughts here before we get into the Judgment Day stuff. So, am I looking too much into this? Is Kevin Owens like, I want to trust you, but I can't yet? Or is he just like, yeah, we're good? I'm confused a little bit.
I'm not really sure because I know they're going the route where like Kevin's like, I know Sammy trusts you, but maybe he's like, I don't really entirely trust you because after what like you and Roman and like
right.
Jimmy and Solo did to me in the past. So like, I think they're going that route.
Yeah, so Jay's got to earn his trust because we saw a little dissension in their tag match as well. But moving forward, Judgment Day minus Rhea Ripley, which they kept her off most of this show before her main event title defense. Came out, Finn Balor and Jey didn't have to. Finn Balor said that Jey didn't have to prove himself to Owens. He says I, Grand Slam, Finn, and the rest of Judgment Day respect you. Now, here's my question. This is kind of jumping forward a little bit. When Dominic came out later to interrupt Cody, he had JD with him. So why wasn't JD out with Judgment Day early in the show? Was he not part of Judgment Day? Is he part of Judgment Day? What the hell's going on with JD McDonough? Like, I'm confused with that as well. If he's going to come out with Dom later, why didn't he come out with the others early?
I'm pretty sure with like JD's role is that like he's not officially part of the Judgment Day, but like some people in the Judgment Day like him. And I think Dominic is one of those people saying, you know, I like JD, and as long as everyone else likes him, then like I'm cool, or at least like somebody here likes him. Because Dominic did say in the past, like,
right,
that's what are your thoughts on JD? He's like, well, as long as one of you guys likes him, then I like him.
Right, so it could be just that Priest is still on the fence, maybe. Speaking of Damian Priest, Priest told Owens that he didn't speak for the locker room because they run the show. Priest told Jey that the door was always open for him. Priest said Dominic turned them down 1,000 times before finally becoming the best version of himself and a champion. There were mentions of Dom getting boos, and then they booed him every time he tried to speak here. And yeah, I think they're piping in boos for Dominic. Because, now I've said this for the last couple of weeks, but especially tonight, I really feel like they're piping in boos because Dom is now reacting to the boos differently. Before, he would get booed super loud and immediately stop talking. Or like get flustered, per se. Now he just keeps on going like it's nothing. So I don't know if he's just got used to it, or if they're really piping in fake boos and he's not hearing how loud we hear it actually is. What do you think about the boos that Dom got tonight? Do you think maybe they could be fake? Piped in boos?
I mean, maybe, but at the same time, I feel like Dominic's just gotten so used to it where it's like, all right, I gotta talk here. Like, I don't care if everyone's booing the heck out of me, but like, I still gotta talk and like do my job here. And like, for all like the crowd reactions, it made it seem like all those boos might have been real because you can tell everyone was doing like the thumbs down, just screaming boo.
True, but it's like they're starting and stopping almost too perfectly. Now, could be this though. They're not fake, but they're playing with the levels. They're turning the crowd mics up and turning Dominic's mic down to make them sound louder than the act. It could be that. They could be real boos, and they're just manipulating the sound, the audio levels.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
Now that you think of it, that's probably it.
Because they're getting louder right at the perfect time, and they're coming down and stopping almost right at the perfect time as well. So, yeah, now that I think about it, could be that they're just adjusting the audio perfectly. Or not perfectly to make them sound fake. Anyways. Priest says, we're supposed to have a match tonight with you and Sammy. Where's Sammy? Owens said that Zayn wasn't here tonight, but he was willing to fight all three of them on his own. Now, here's the question. Was Sammy not there? Or was he there? Because last week, Kevin Owens was there. They said he wasn't there. He just wasn't used on the show, so I don't know. Jade then said that he would have Owens back if he needed it. The crowd then cheered for that. Dom yelled at Jay off the mic. I don't know what he said, but Kevin then said, let's go, and Jay super kicked Dom right in the chin. Owens and Jay cleared the ring, and at Judgment Day gathered themselves up. So a good opening segment. I felt like it was a little long and kind of like, oh, we've seen this before. Not that I got bored with it, but it just felt like a lot more of the same, if that makes a lot of sense. But what do you think overall of the opening segment here?
I think that this might be like a possible tease for like a War Games match for Survivor Series.
Okay.
I think that's what they're doing. I feel like they're slowly like building up for like a potential War Games match. So is Survivor Series in October this year?
November.
Or is it in November? Oh, November?
End in November.
Oh, never mind then. I feel like that would be too long then.
I want to say the 25th. Yeah, November 25th from Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago gets a lot of premium live events from the pay-per-views.
From the Allstate Arena, the old Rosemont Horizon. But yeah. But I can see where you're coming from. You've got Dom, Damian, Finn, JD, Jay, Kevin, Sammy. What? Throw in Cody because of the stuff with Dom and JD later. So there's your 4-on-4 right there.
Honestly, I feel like this would kind of be a little perfect as well because, like, they can also like slowly build like JD like gaining trust from the Judgment Day, and Kevin Owens like slowly gaining trust from Jey Uso.
Because if you think though, we've got 2 pay-per-views before Survivor Series. We have Fastlane coming up in a couple of weeks, and then after that, at the beginning of November, we also got the Crown Jewel event from Saudi Arabia. So there's still quite a few pay-per-views before Survivor Series. Doesn't feel like that long, but they're cramming shit in.
Well, they got to do the Crown Jewel event. I mean, they get a lot of money out of that show.
Yeah. But as we move forward, we did have the tag team champions, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, take on Kevin Owens and Jey Uso in a non-title match that went 12 minutes and 12 and a half minutes. Right around 12 and a half. So early on, Jay wiped out Priest and Balor with a dive, but Dom took the opportunity to chop block Owens' leg while he was on the apron. After a commercial break, Judgment Day had control over Owens. They didn't explain how Owens was suddenly the legal man, but yeah, he was fighting, and then eventually Jay got tagged in. Jay made the hot tag and pretty quickly ran over everybody. He ran wild on Balor and hit a super kick, but Balor got his knees up on a splash attempt. Owens then tagged in and hammered away at Priest and then hit a tornado DDT for a 2. Owens then went to the top, but Priest cut him off. Balor then tagged in, but Owens gave him an avalanche fisherman's buster and Priest broke up the cover. Jay then went for a super kick, but Priest dodged it and Jay super kicked Owens by mistake. Priest then knocked Jay out of the ring while Balor hit the coup de grace on Kevin Owens and pinned him to pick up the victory. And I'm going to say right now, I don't know how you can do the coup de grace fake. That move just looks like every time you see it, it's going to knock the complete wind right out of you. And this one, they showed it in slow-mo from like a wide angles view. Finn got hella air and then just boom, came right down on Kevin Owens. I don't know how that move does not hurt somebody every time. Or at least just knock the wind out of you. Shocked no one's broken a rib. What do you thought of the match, though? I thought it was a solid, good match.
Oh, it definitely was solid. I mean, it was pretty obvious that Judgment Day was getting the win here. Mm-hmm. But I could also see maybe giving it to Jay and Kevin. You know, maybe giving them like a tag match next week that can maybe do some build between the two.
Now, here's the thing. I could be looking too much into this, and it could just be Jey Uso's are really good at selling. So the match ends. Jay's on the outside on one knee looking back up at Kevin. Kevin's looking over at Jay all pissed off. Jay eventually gets up and goes to walk to the back. He's limping. Now, I don't think there's anything to that, but he could just be really good at selling, but he was limping on his way to the back. Moving forward, Raquel Rodriguez was shown warming up in the back and was approached by Natalya. Michael Cole said that Natalya has been giving Rodriguez advice on how to face Rhea Ripley. Why would you want advice from Natty? How many times has Natty now lost to Rhea? Why would you want advice from somebody that's lost? No, you go find someone that beat her, whether that was recently or back in the day or something. Go talk to Asuka. Go talk to whoever has beaten Rhea Ripley in the past. Don't talk to Natty. Natty's lost to
talk to Charlotte.
Yeah, Natty's lost to... How many times has Natty now lost to Rhea recently? 2, 3 times? At least 2.
Say like 3 or 4.
Yeah, you think it's that much? God dang. I know the 2 for sure. They had the Raw match and they had the Saudi match. But, whew. Why
and she got crushed by Rhea. She didn't even stand a chance.
So in the first one, yes. Second one, they tried to make it more competitive and it was actually praised as the second match, the one that happened on Raw. Rumor is that higher ups in the company really praised that for being a good match. So it was. But Rhea Natty of all people, who keeps losing to Rhea. That makes no sense. Got their commercial break. Jay approached Kevin Owens in the back, tried to apologize to him. Jay called it nothing more than a miscue. Owens wasn't buying it. And hey, haven't I been getting mad about this recently? Someone goes to kick an opponent, the opponent moves, and boom. You get kicked by your partner by accident. How can you not tell that it's an accident? I don't know. Heat of the moment, I guess. He angrily told Jay, go join Judgment Day and dye your hair purple. Because Jay's been dyeing the tips of the back of his hair different colors over the last month. It was blonde for a couple of weeks. Now it's blue.
I think it was red when he was in the Bloodline, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, back, I don't know how long ago, but there was a point where it was red, yeah. I think Jimmy did redden some of his hair as well, but there was a video package talking about and showing Gunther's win over Chad Gable last week, cementing his longest reigning WWE Intercontinental Champion of all time. Imperium, all dressed in black suits, were shown arriving at the building in a Mercedes-Benz. Giovanni Vinci was driving. We then got a 9/11 memorial video as we go into The Miz against Akira Tozawa in a 3-minute match. So not much here. I got 2 lines written about it. Tozawa started with some kicks, but Miz turned him inside out with the boot. Miz then hit his usual offense. 3 consecutive skull-crushing finales. And there we go. Miz picks up the victory ahead of his big match on Friday with LA Knight. So, any thoughts on that? I mean, there's nothing to it. Just a Miz showcase match.
I like what Miz was doing in this match. Every time he was hitting Tozawa with the skull-crushing finale, he was going, M-I-Z. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. As we look forward, Byron Saxton interviewed Rodriguez backstage. She said Ripley has taken over the women's division because everybody loses to fear before they even step into the ring. Rodriguez said that she wasn't like everyone else, and Ripley knew it. Dom wouldn't be at ringside tonight either, and Ripley would learn a lesson that would feel like a nightmare to her. Ripley wouldn't be the tallest, strongest, or the angriest woman to step into the ring tonight, and she would get a taste of her own medicine. So yeah, cool. I mean, next basic by the numbers promo here. Interesting that they kept showing Raquel, but we never really saw Rhea that much before the main event. They kept her off TV as the big draw. Like, you want to see Rhea? You got to wait till the end.
I feel like the reason why they did that is mainly because like Raquel was like the big baby face in this, so they probably wanted to show more like Raquel like training and asking people for advice.
Yeah, she's not scared. So you want to know going into the match that she's quote unquote ready.
And they also wanted to like at least try to like show people like, hey, you know, she has a legit chance and she could possibly win against Rhea.
Jackie Redmond then interviewed Shayna Baszler in the back. Baszler said that Zoe Stark surprised her last week with her efforts. Before she could continue, Chelsea Green would interrupt to let Baszler know that she was looking for a new partner because hers wasn't cleared. Baszler said that they weren't peers and challenged her to a match to show just how large the gap between them is. After Baszler left, all of a sudden Piper Niven appeared to let Chelsea know, hey, I'm back, I'm cleared. And Niven took her title back from Chelsea. So, cool little comedy thing there. But we do end up getting Chelsea and Shayna later in the show. Then go on to Gunther's Intercontinental Championship celebration. This was a highlight for sure. Ludwig Kaiser.
I love the intro for this.
Yes.
I love every time when they have Ludwig introduce Gunther.
Yep.
I feel like they should do this more often. Or not really more often, but like do it more for like special events, if that makes sense.
Yes. Like when Paul Heyman would introduce Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns.
But like Paul Heyman, he would introduce like those guys all the time though. Like,
true.
That way.
True.
At least for like Ludwig, do it for like special events for Gunther, whether that's like celebrations or like an epic entrance for Gunther,
yeah,
like they did at WrestleMania.
Yeah, title matches or pay-per-views and stuff. Ludwig Kaiser introduced Gunther, the Ring General. I can't do it as good as Corey Graves, but Corey Graves can do.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there you go. Hey.
I demand your attention.
No, Corey Graves can do.
I can't do it as good.
Corey Graves
can't do it as good as like.
Yeah, no, Corey can do a great Ludwig impression. So Gunther smiled as he stood atop of a platform with his Intercontinental Championship. Gunther said that he rewrote history to the surprise of no one. He announced himself as the longest reigning and greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Gunther said that it meant a lot to him. All of the legends who held the title before him meant absolutely nothing. He has elevated the title to new heights never before seen and was going to start running out of competition. This then led to Chad Gable making his way out. Gable said that they had a main event for the ages last week, and he was still feeling it. This morning when he woke up, Gable congratulated Gunther. Now, Cody Rhodes did reveal on the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Download podcast last week that these two did get a standing ovation in gorilla position after their match on Raw. Cody also said that he hopes that Gable gets the IC title eventually. He's like, Chad Gable has...
I hope so. I hope so too. I mean,
yeah.
He deserves it.
That's what Cody said. He's like, he's earned it. He deserves a shot to show what he can do as the champion. And I think he said, I hope Chad Gable gets that title in the future. So
I mean, I don't know if Chad's gonna necessarily beat Gunther for the IC title. I don't see that happening.
Right.
But like maybe like he can take the belt from the person who beats Gunther, maybe.
Or somehow, I don't know if this is gonna be possible. We get like Gunther, Chad Gable, and Ciampa in a 3-way, and Gable pins Ciampa. I don't know because they were friends tonight, so.
Yeah, I don't know what Ciampa's role is in this.
Me neither. But Gunther invited Gable into the ring. Gable said that he saw the look in Gunther's eyes after their match. Gable knew that Gunther knew that Gable gave him a better fight than anyone else before. The hardest fight of his reign. But He also saw the look in his entire family's eyes sitting in the front row. He saw the tears on the face of his oldest daughter, and that was because of Gunther. Gunther wouldn't know what that felt like because you had to be a parent to understand. Gable said that a little fire under him, and he won't burn out until he's made this right. Now, did you see the video they posted after Raw last night or last week with Chad Gable talking about wanting to get another shot at Gunther?
I don't recall seeing that.
So they're
I might have seen it.
So they're in the
remember.
So they're in the locker room, and Chad's getting all his wrist tape off, taking his boots off, and everything. And he says, Gunther was there chopping me or whatever right in front of my kids, talking to them and making them cry and this and that. But what I liked what he said was, I want another shot at Gunther. I want to go after the Intercontinental Championship. But I know I'm going to have to work back to it. And I hope that once I do earn a shot again, Gunther is still a champion, so I can attempt to take this belt from him one more time. So it doesn't sound like they're going to do the he's got to earn it again kind of route. And they might just go with giving him another title shot. But I liked the thought of Gable going on a run to earn another shot for the IC title. I don't know if that's going to be what they're going to do, but that's how they teased it last week.
I kind of like those stories. Like,
right.
You lose the first time, so you have to go on an absolute tear to get another shot. I like that.
And Chad Gable would be the perfect person right now to go out there and just have great 5-6 minute matches with people and just beating the crap out of them on a mission to earn that title shot. I got to go win every match for the next 2 months to earn the shot. But now it just seems like, they're just going to give it to him again, maybe. Gable said that he beat Gunther once and would do it again. Gable didn't know when or how he would get that opportunity. He said, quote, I swear to God, I'm winning that championship. And I swear to God, my daughter is walking out with a smile on her face. Gunther wondered if Gable really wanted to drag his family around just to watch him lose yet again. He also accused Gable of using them just to gain sympathy. Gunther called him a terrible father. Gable attacked Gunther, so Imperium swarmed him. They put the boots to him until Otis came out. Otis chucked Vinci and Kaiser from the ring, but was cut down by Gunther. Gable then tried to save Otis, but Gunther knocked him down too. Imperium continued beating on Alpha Academy until Tommaso Ciampa, of all people, so random, would run down with the chair, make the save, and Imperium bailed. What? Have I missed something? What's going on with Ciampa wanting to help Gable and Otis? That makes no sense to me at all. Have I missed something?
I don't know what his role is in this. I really don't. Here's my thing with Ciampa.
One thing real fast. This felt like an AEW angle where it's you missed Rampage 3 weeks ago where they became friends. Oh, so I don't know, but go for it.
Here's my issue with Ciampa. They always they got him right now doing two things at the same time. One, he's on Raw where he's doing a bunch of random stuff, and then two, he's on social media trying to find Gargano. I wish they would if they're gonna do the him trying to find Gargano angle, why not do that on both social media and on television?
Yeah, no, I would love to see that. Miss Ciampa looking for Johnny, my best friend's missing thing. I'd love to see, even if you give it 2 minutes on a Raw, that would be so great.
Why can't you do that not on Raw as well? Why you gotta have him do something different on Raw and something different on social media? That's my whole issue with Ciampa.
So got a question here in the Twitch chat saying, since Saturday, did Tommaso Ciampa have history with Imperium and NXT? Now, I know they I think it was 2021 Stand and Deliver. It was the former Walter Gunther. He was Walter at the time. Gunther versus Tommaso Ciampa. So they have had a match before at WrestleMania weekend in 2021. That was a 4.5 star match. but I don't know if you could call that history. So,
Well, well, I can't remember like this like rivalry that they had with Gunther at the time, but yeah, I remember the match was at NXT Stand and Deliver back then,
Yep.
and it was for the NXT United Kingdom Championship.
And Walter won.
Yep.
But it was a great it was like right between 15 and 20 minutes, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh yeah, that match was great. I don't know what the history was. I don't know if they were actually like teaming together, then like Imperium just attacked him. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I mean, it's been a while. I'll have to check.
Right. So we get a video and it says earlier today, Xavier Woods approaches Drew McIntyre. Woods wondered why he spoke trash about Kofi Kingston last week. McIntyre said that maybe Kingston should be a man and speak to him himself instead. Woods wondered if McIntyre was jealous that Kofi got to win a world title in front of 82,000 people at WrestleMania, while McIntyre won his in an empty arena. McIntyre stepped to Woods, who was not intimidated. McIntyre agreed to a match with Woods and said whatever happens to Woods tonight would not be an accident. Boy, is Drew turning heel.
It's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah.
It really is gonna happen.
Oh, yeah. Jackie Redmond interviewed Ciampa in Alpha Academy. Ciampa said that Adam Pearce advised him to make the most of opportunities, and that's what he felt like he was doing tonight. Gable and Otis said that this was far from over. Otis had suggested a 6-man tag team carnage match. Gable then asked Ciampa if he was in, but he just walked off. And Gable assumed that was a yes. And he said something like, carnage just means tag team, or something like that. I'm like, what? Okay, cool. Ciampa just leaves, and they're like, we're doing the match.
Magma Lord in the YouTube chat says it's because Imperium attacked Timothy Thatcher at the time. Now, I do remember that Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher were a tag team back in NXT.
Right. So, Ciampa and Thatcher were a tag team in NXT. Thatcher was in the original, outside of WWE, Imperium Ring Kickoff, or whatever it's called. He was in their group outside of WWE, and so they were playing. I remember them playing that stuff up in NXT. I just forgot Ciampa was involved. So Ciampa was like, so now if I think I'm remembering, so it would be Ciampa was taking on Gunther at the time to avenge Thatcher and then try to win the UK title. Got it.
So that was mainly like the only history between the two then.
Okay, hold on, because I had the same thought. Steve Rand in the Twitch chat says, did you guys know Woods' nose was pierced? No. I noticed this like 2-3 weeks ago when they had the graphic where it was New Day versus the Viking Raiders, and the picture of Woods, his nose was pierced. Then I see tonight, his nose is pierced, and I go, when did he pierce his nose? Had to have been when he had that time off recently. Yeah, that shocked me too. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know why, but it just, my eye went straight to it when he walked on the screen. I'm like, that's new.
I did not notice it.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, there's a small little stud on his nose. So speaking of Drew McIntyre and Xavier Woods, they went 9.5 minutes. Not much happened before a commercial break, but after the break, Woods powerbombed McIntyre, who was perched on the top turnbuckle. He then hit a diving leg drop and got a 2 off of it. McIntyre blocked a clothesline and hit consecutive overhead suplexes and a neck breaker. McIntyre went for the Claymore kick, but Woods intercepted with a super kick for a 2. McIntyre then tried to reverse Alabama slam, but Woods countered into a victory roll. Woods followed this up with a thrust kick, a senton, and a shining wizard for a 2. Crowd starts chanting, "This is awesome." He traded more counters and stuff, but Woods set up for a rolling forearm, and McIntyre suddenly just hits him with the Claymore and pins him out of nowhere. It felt like one of those, hey, time's up, go to the finish from the referee. But I don't know. It was a really good match, but the end just felt abrupt.
I feel like it was like one of those matches where it was supposed to go longer, but they ran short on time.
That's very, very possible.
Oh yeah. Like Drew turning heel, like it's gonna happen. It's just nobody knows when.
So
he keeps teasing he's gonna turn heel.
So the match is over. Drew is walking up the ramp. He's like walking backwards, and you can hear him say, "It didn't have to be this way. It didn't have to be this way." You know what else didn't have to be this way? This stupid ass Cody Rhodes segment. Really? This is all we get? Cody Rhodes on the show, and he's there for 3 minutes beating up Dom and JD. Also, I don't know if it was the camera angle right at the edge of the ring looking up, but for some reason, when Cody back body dropped JD out of the ring, it looked like JD went about 20 feet in the air and 50 feet out. Like, it looked, not 50 feet, but like 10 feet out. It looked like JD got launched. But Cody comes out. Huge reaction is normal. Rhodes says, "What do you want to talk about?" Maybe main event Jey Uso, but was quickly interrupted by Dominic and JD. Crowd loudly boos. Dom was happy that Rhodes brought Jey to Raw because he's going to join the Judgment Day, and when he did, Rhodes would look like a fool. Dom said that there's nothing Rhodes could do about it either. Dom then flicked at Rhodes' necktie. Rhodes then decked Dom to the delight of the crowd. JD would then attack Rhodes, but Rhodes would easily throw him out of the ring. JD would then jump back in, take a crossroads. Dom would then get a crossroads, and there we go. Dom and JD leave, and Cody's in the ring with his shirt all opened up, like, "You want to fight? Let's go." So yeah, a nothing happening segment. We're just getting, are we really going to get another Dom Cody match? Like, we got it in Money in the Bank. Why do we need it again? Fastlane? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I do agree. I don't really want another Dom and Cody match, but
No.
I can see the reason why they're doing this. Because, like I said earlier, with like Kevin Owens and Jey Uso, I feel like they're probably it's probably their way of like slowly building up for War Games.
Yes.
If that's the route they go, because they need something for like Cody to do to get him involved with this. So why not have him feud with Dominic? And they're gonna have Jey Uso like feud with like everyone else, because like Dominic's also trying to recruit Jey to the Judgment Day, but Jay's like no, I want to help Sammy.
Yeah, basically you need to build up enemies for the Judgment Day to where you have enough to build a opposing team.
Because if they do another like War Games this year, it would have to be the Judgment Day, because Bloodline's no longer a thing.
Yes. Now I will say though, for this segment being crowd loved it. Like, this crowd was hot for this segment. Like, they got to see Cody, and that's all they cared about. Cody beat some people up. And then I thought it was funny. Brandy then sends out a tweet and was like, "My husband takes his shirt off every week for wrestling." And then she says something, "But I only take mine off to go work out for yoga. Come join my new yoga studio in Georgia." I'm like, okay, cool. McIntyre then approaches Jey Uso in the back. Told him, "I don't trust you one bit." Jey then said, "Cool." McIntyre then thinks that Jey could stand on his own 2 feet and said Judgment Day was probably looking good to him. Jey challenged him to a match next week. McIntyre accepted, but they never made it official. I don't think they ever showed us the graphic for this match. We got Ricochet versus Nakamura for next week, and we got a graphic, but unless I missed it, I didn't see a graphic for Jey and McIntyre, but the match was seemingly made here. Now, I do like that people are now coming at Jey being like, "Yeah, you're going to join Judgment Day because you're scared to be alone." But I like that aspect of the story is, can Jey do this on his own, or does he think he needs a group like Judgment Day to have his back because he's always had somebody have his back? Well, that's a very compelling story to me.
Well, Jay's gimmick right now is kind of like, like I'm all on my own, it's just me.
Right.
That's Jay's gimmick right now. Like, so.
We then had Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green. The match went 1 minute and 45 seconds. Baszler had a confrontation with Piper Niven on the outside of the ring, and it didn't really lead to anything. Baszler then blocked Green's Unprettier and hit her with a spinning Samoan drop. Ronda Rousey's Piper Pit. They referenced it on commentary that she has now taken Ronda's move after taking Ronda out of the company. She pinned Chelsea and picked up the victory. Baszler and Niven then got in each other's faces post-match. Niven was getting the better of her before Zoe Stark would run out and superkick Niven, as Chelsea's just sitting over in the corner not wanting to help. After Baszler took out Green, though, with a knee to the face, Chelsea Green is such a treasure. When she got kneed in the face here by Shayna, the way she sold that knee, she's one of the better, at least in my opinion, one of the better people at just selling like hard shots like that. And her facial reactions and stuff is just phenomenal. But Niven then stood up, looked like she was maybe going to go 2-on-1 with Baszler and Starks before she said, I'm too smart for this. I know you guys got the advantage. She gets out of the ring. So it looks like we got a new tag team here and challengers for the tag titles. So it's probably going to be Chelsea and Piper against Zoe and Shayna for the tag titles.
Oh, yeah. Wait, who'd you say? Shayna and who else?
Zoe Stark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what they're going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're going that route.
Because Zoe came out and saved her tonight. They didn't get a knock. Go for it.
Someone in the YouTube chat says, when's Matt coming back? Matt Cardona?
Yeah, he keeps teasing it. Cody did say on the Dale Jr. Download podcast he wants Matt to come back. Because they were talking about how when Cody left WWE, he had to grind and hustle on the indies. And then Cody was like, but I have a friend, Matt, who probably does that better than anybody. I just hope and wish he eventually comes back to WWE.
Yeah, I just think him and Steph D. Lander, I think right now they're just having too much fun on the independent scene.
Mm-hmm.
And Steph D. Lander, she did like say something when like Sonya Deville got hurt. Everyone kept predicting that maybe she'll come back to WWE and team with Chelsea. And she did say, I would love to come back, but right now, like what Matt Cardona says, now's just not the time to come back home.
Honestly, I think she's making too much money on the indies to go to WWE. Cardona would get a great WWE contract. I honestly think that she would make more money on the indies doing the stuff with Cardona than WWE would pay her.
Oh, yeah, she's doing great. Like on her own, like she's promoting her own like content and stuff. And WWE, like they won't let her do her own content or anything.
No, like Cardona would get a good deal. I think she's in a better place money. Like, yeah, how much money she could be making revenue wise. I think this is better for her. Because they're just going to sign her and throw her back in NXT on a cheap deal, I guess you would call it. I honestly don't. Go for it.
Either that or they'll just try to throw her back with Indy Hartwell.
Maybe, but I don't see it. That's the thing, though. I don't see them signing her back to put her on the main roster. I feel like if they sign her back, they'd put her back in NXT first.
Oh, do you know what they could do with her?
Huh.
I can also see them putting her in Chase U back with Duke Hudson.
There you go. We then got a Nakamura video. Nakamura wondered if Seth felt like a champion after he stood over Rollins' broken body. He said Rollins was not honorable and wondered if the fans would still sing his song if they remembered the things he's done. Nakamura said that the road to Rollins' success was lined with the bodies of those who trusted him. They then showed clips of Rollins turning on the Shield and so forth. Rollins believed that the weak exist to be consumed by the strong. Rollins was a manipulator, a deceiver, a liar. He brought shame to his family and has no remorse. Nakamura would strip him of the title and expose the lies that he claimed to stand for. Rollins' words meant nothing. He said, quote, I challenge you when I feel like it. Again, another great Nakamura video. I loved it.
Oh, yeah, I love these Nakamura videos where you like part of it, him talking Japanese, like the heel where like he's speaking Japanese and not a lot of people can understand him. Like I love this so much. I really do. So
then Seth Rollins would make his way out to the ring wearing the Rugrats logo on his face. Rollins entered. He called himself a visionary and a revolutionary, but also admitted to be a manipulator and a deceiver and a liar, just as Nakamura said. But he was also a father, a fighter, and your world heavyweight champion. For a long time, Rollins didn't know who he was. He surrounded himself with the authority, with people who lied straight to his face. Then he tried to be who everybody wanted him to be, and that also didn't work. Rollins finally figured out what everybody wanted him to be, himself. He's also wearing a big old fuzzy jacket that looked like he skinned Sully and took all the purple polka dots off of him. He said that the fans love him now, not because he was a good guy or a bad guy, because he's Seth freaking Rollins. And that's why they sing my song. Rollins said that it was because of the fans that he could look at his daughter in the eye and be at peace with his past and his future. Rollins said that he didn't come to Virginia to talk. He came to fight. Management wanted him to slow things down, and he told them that he'd burn himself out before anything, because he's a workhorse. He called out Nakamura for a title match, just like he did last week. Rollins said that Nakamura wanted to do it on his own time and figured their payback match took more out of Nakamura than he's leading on. Rollins said that there was no better time than right now in Norfolk, Virginia. So he calls out Nakamura. Nakamura's music hits, but no Nakamura. We then see on the big screen Nakamura in the back beating the crap out of Ricochet. Nakamura said that he wanted to fight Rollins, but he thought Rollins wasn't medically cleared. Quote, "So I fought already tonight, right, Ricochet?" Ricochet then shoved him, so Nakamura kneed him repeatedly. Nakamura then apologized to Rollins and said, quote, "I will take your title, but not today." So that is the thing. It's like they're saying Seth's got the bad back, but they've never said he's not cleared. They're just saying, hey, maybe you should slow it down. So what's slow it down really mean? If they really said, hey, slow it down, we don't want you doing anything, then wouldn't you think like maybe management would say he's not allowed to show up for a couple of weeks or something? I don't know. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Like you would think if they want him to slow it down, then Pierce would be like, hey, you're not allowed to come for a little bit. You need to, recuperate, which in turn would mean we're not going to medically clear you right now. So I don't get it. I assume this match happens at Fastlane.
Most likely, yeah.
So Balor approached. Go for it.
I'm really curious to see like after Nakamura, like who's next? Mm-hmm. Is it Ricochet?
Drew?
Because they got crowned Drew.
Maybe.
Yeah, I would save Drew for WrestleMania if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
Have Drew win the Royal Rumble and have him challenge Seth.
That'd be nice.
And give Drew like his big WrestleMania moment.
We go to the back where Balor approaches Jay. Balor was impressed with what Jay did to Owens and winked at him. Balor said that McIntyre might not be a fan, but the Judgment Day is. Jay said, for real? And Balor assumed that let him know that the door is always open, basically. So, yeah. Again, they're trying to recruit Jey Uso. I don't know why, but they're trying to recruit Jey Uso.
I feel like in storyline, they want to recruit Jay so they can get him away from Sammy.
Probably. So
it's like we don't want anyone helping like Kevin or Sammy, so let's try to recruit Jay so that way they don't have any help.
Mm-hmm. We then had our 6-man tag team match. It was the Intercontinental Champion Gunther with the rest of Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci against the team of Tommaso Ciampa and the Alpha Academy. This match was great with an awesome finish that ruled. I loved the finish to this match. So Imperium worked over. Go for it.
Actually, I'll save it for towards the end. I was going to say something about the ending.
So Imperium worked over Gable through a break, and Gunther chopped away at him following that break. Gable then broke free and tagged in Ciampa, who hit Vinci with clotheslines and an inverted DDT for a 2. A distraction allowed Vinci to clothesline Ciampa. Otis then made the hot tag and slammed Kaiser and hit a caterpillar. However, Otis ran shoulder first into the post. Gable then tagged in. Gunther then tagged in. Gable then tagged in. Crowd was very excited to see this. Gunther then hit a German suplex, but Gable applied an ankle lock moments later. Vinci would then get the tag and hit a flying crossbody to break up the ankle lock. Gable then put the ankle lock on him, then the Chaos Theory, but Gunther broke up the cover. Ciampa then kneed Gunther out of the ring. Kaiser then took out Ciampa. Otis dropped Kaiser. Gunther dropped Otis. Gable then put Vinci in another ankle lock. Gunther tried to jump in to break it up when Ciampa would grab him and put him, and am I correct here, in the Gargano escape. That's the move, right? Teasing Johnny. Yes.
Yeah.
So he puts Gunther in the Gargano escape and makes him watch as Gable taps Vinci out with the ankle lock. I thought this finish ruled. Go for it.
This ending reminded me so much of the way Gargano and Ciampa won the NXT tag titles back in the day.
The revival.
Ciampa had his finisher. Gargano had the Gargano escape, and then both guys tapped out. But this time, only one person tapped out. But
yeah, no, this match was no, the match was super fun, and the finish was awesome.
Still really curious to see when Johnny returns, because I know I said this beforehand, and I don't know how much longer Johnny will be I enjoy staying at home a lot, but when am I returning?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Then we go to the back. Judgment Day had a little meeting. Pretty confident Jey Uso was going to join. Dom was upset he couldn't be ringside for Mommy's match later. Mommy then said, "Don't worry, Mommy's always on top." We then got word that Nakamura will face Ricochet next week one-on-one. We then had a contract signing. This is weird. Why would you do this? They flew both of these women in for this? To then fly them to Orlando tomorrow? I don't know. I don't know why you're doing this. Anyways, they do a contract signing with Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch. Tiffany Stratton met with Adam Pearce in his office. She was annoyed that Becky wasn't there, and then Becky just rolls right in. "What's up?" Pearce said that he spoke with Shawn Michaels, and they have all agreed that they will have the title match tomorrow. "No shit, we've been plugging it for a week." Stratton said that she's been nothing but respectful to Lynch and even apologized for calling her a former NXT champion when she's not. She wondered why Lynch was coming for her and her belt. Lynch admitted that she wasn't paying much attention to Stratton before she showed up here on Raw and tried to use my name in vain. "All you want to do is be famous, and that's not going to work for me." Lynch put over Stratton's athletic ability, but called her dumb as a box of rocks. Lynch said that Stratton could be the future, but she wouldn't be as of right now. Lynch threatened to make her famous tomorrow when she takes the title. Lynch signs the contract. Stratton then said, "I have no problem with this." Signed the contract, and there we go. So yeah, it's official, even though it's already been official for a week. That's why contract signings in wrestling always never made sense to me. Because A, if you need to sign a contract to make a match official, why don't we have contract signings for every match? Or if you're promoting a match for a week, then why all of a sudden the night before you need a contract signing? The match is already made. Contract signings always kind of confused me as far as their purpose.
So, personally, I've never really been against contract signings because I always view them as, whatever, fine. But my issue with this one tonight, if they're going to do a contract signing for an NXT title, why not do it on NXT? Why do you have to do it on Raw?
Well, because A, you've got a Raw roster member, and B, you do the contract signing tonight on Raw. That's then allowing more people to know about the match tomorrow. Because if you're only promoting it on NXT, you're only promoting it on social media, that's a lot of people that aren't going to know about this match. So that's why. I mean, I get why they did it. It's just contract signings, if we're thinking real, realistically, have always kind of been bleh to me. But yeah, they're doing it to get more eyeballs on the show tomorrow night.
I mean, I get that, but there's different ways to promote. You can honestly just have Becky just cut a promo on Tiffany saying I'm going to take her title.
True.
Because when I view contract signings for a championship, that contract signing should be on the show that the title is being represented on.
Right.
So That's just my big takeaway from this.
This then leads into our. I'll go for it.
And I honestly think Becky's winning because
yes,
like WWE is like shown in the past that NXT does super well when they have main roster wrestlers in NXT.
So this then leads into our main event match that goes 15 minutes. It's Rhea Ripley defending the WWE Women's World Championship against Raquel Rodriguez. Good match. Good. Still wouldn't call it great. Like their last match I didn't think was great. I thought this was better than the last match, but still not great. Rodriguez immediately dropped Rhea with a clothesline and a power slam for her too. Ripley responded with a missile dropkick and a cannonball off the steel steps. There was a running knee strike as well. Rodriguez then chucked Ripley out of the ring and booted her into the barricade. During a break, Rodriguez drove Ripley into the barricade with no explanation. Ripley was in control following said break. Ripley had Rodriguez in a leg lock, but Rodriguez got out by slamming Ripley's head onto the mat. Ripley then dropped Rodriguez face first onto the top turnbuckle a moment later. Ripley then wrapped the legs around Rodriguez's head, so Rodriguez stood up and dropped her face first onto the top turnbuckle. They exchanged strikes before dropping each other at the same moment with running boots. They exchanged right hands until Ripley kicked her and hit a Northern Light suplex for a 2. Rodriguez blocked a riptide and hit a snake eyes on the top rope, a back body drop, and a big boot for a 2 of her own. Rodriguez then went for a corkscrew elbow drop, but Ripley got her feet up. Ripley then went to the top and did the Eddie Guerrero shimmy and a frog splash. Only got a 2 off of it. I loved the whole, oh, she kicked out, like Rhea all shocked and everything. But how actually awesome would it have been if Rhea won with the frog splash? That actually would have been really cool. Because it's like, oh yeah, Dom taught me that.
That awesome. I would have liked it.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be against that.
It's like we've seen in the past her train Dom. So now we can I want her to win a match with the frog splash now, just so she can be like, oh yeah, my little Dom taught me that one. I'm not the only one teaching people things here. So Ripley tried to go for a cannonball off the apron, but Raquel just grabbed her like she weighed nothing and then whipped her into the announce table. Rodriguez also gave her a Chicano bomb on the apron, and then she rolled her into the ring. As she was about to get into the ring, all of a sudden, poof, she's knocked out by the returning Nia Jax. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Nia Jax has returned to the WWE. So she mows down Rodriguez, hits her with a Samoan drop on the outside as the referee is checking on Rhea. She then throws her back into the ring. Ripley then gives her a riptide and pins her to retain the Women's World Championship. After the match, Ripley was celebrating when she was then attacked by Nia Jax. Nia headbutts her, gives her a leg drop and a leg drop on the apron, and then a bonsai drop. She then yells, "I'm back," and blew kisses to the crowd, a booing aplenty. So what did you think of the match while I'm reading this new report from Fightful about this?
I mean, the match was good. It was a very shocking ending with the big return of Nia Jax. I honestly thought that they were going to have maybe Nia join Judgment Day because her gear, she wore like a purple gear tonight. So to me, that was thinking holy crap.
I thought the same thing.
She's joined Judgment Day, but then she ended up attacking Rhea. So her role is, no one's going to, if anyone's going to take the belt from Rhea, it's going to be me. Mm-hmm. So that's basically her role.
So Fightful does have a new update on this that does state the following. Nia Jax is back in WWE. Nia Jax made a return to WWE on Monday Night Raw, attacking Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley. Fightful has noted on recent shows that we'd heard that she was headed back to the company, and we're told she signed over a month ago, and that their quote hiring freeze was ended this summer. She's the first signing that has made it back to television since Vince McMahon forced his way back into the company and onto the main roster and so forth from working main roster television. The Endeavor WWE merger is happening this week, and we're told that it's unrelated to her popping up on television. Several within the company actually thought that she'd return before this. Nia had been released back in 2021 and didn't wrestle anywhere else outside of WWE, though she was scheduled for an indie event in the UK. We'll update this article when we get more details on Jax. So basically, because some may have, I did see a couple of tweets, not from anybody significant, but going, oh, so that the merger's over, they can start debuting people now. Like the merger's finalized, they can start debuting people now. No, that apparently, according to this, had nothing to do with the timing of it. It's just coincidental that tomorrow the merger is supposed to finalize, and now they're finalizing new contracts and bringing new people in. No. So, and all this also says she was signed over a month ago. So that's interesting too.
I mean, I've seen like videos and like pictures of Nia like in a wrestling ring, like training to like get back in the ring. So like
she trains at she's
been training like to get back in the ring for a while now. It's just that no one really like thought much of it.
So she never stopped training. She goes to Natty and TJ's place all the time and trains with Angelo Dawkins, Moose, and Apollo Crews and all of those people. So she's training with them all the time. Liv, before she got hurt, was training over there all the time. -1, Brody Jr. has actually been seen training there with them. So yeah, no, she hasn't had any matches like on shows, but she's kept in a ring to, you know, not lose it over the last 2 years. But with that, guys, that is everything that did take place tonight on Monday Night Raw. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of the show. For some reason, I've been having issues with I forgot the Twitch poll completely, but I've been having issues with the YouTube live poll not wanting to go, so we don't have that, but we do have the Twitch poll, the Twitter poll, and the YouTube community poll. So let's refresh those. As far as the Twitch poll does go, Twitter poll, the X poll we'll call it, 50% liked the show, 28% thought it was just all right, and 20% did not like it. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 66% liked it, 23% thought it was just all right, and 11% didn't like it. A couple of the comments here says, Nia Jax is back. Crying, laughing emoji. It says, KO telling Jay that the locker room doesn't like him. Sounds like if the WWE were to meme on AEW with the whole Punk situation. Not at all. That's not the same thing whatsoever. It's basically, Jay was part of Bloodline. Bloodline screwed over and beat up a lot of people, and now they don't like you. Person says, loved it. Person says, no, hell no, Nia Jax. Person says, skippable. And this person says, pretty boring. So with that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Petke_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at the Luke Petke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your evening. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you back Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. Have a good one, guys.